If you've tried to get diapers for your little one in recent times, you might have seen that there's even more and more terms popping up on the packaging. Hypoallergenic, eco-friendly, dermatology tested, non-toxic, plant-based. But what does this really mean? Are these actually just marketing claims or can brands actually back this up? So today, I'll show you how to decode these terms so you can understand how to differentiate between empty marketing claims and real information. Welcome to Simply Better Choices, your trusted guide for smart, research backed decisions. I'm going to show you examples from two brands that actually do these marketing claims. However, it's not to call them out because there's so many brands and most of them these days are actually doing this of just putting on these marketing terms on their website. But in this case, as a mom who is partially obsessed with understanding what's behind every product that touches my baby, I just found that some of this information was missing. Example number one comes from Pampers Beer Protection. They have a whole list of marketing claims. Some of them are going to be pretty subjective because there's no way for us to double check, like comfortable for baby. Hopefully, it's comfortable for your baby. That will be great. But there's otherwise no way for us to actually validate that. So, what is it that we can actually validate? We can validate usually things, marketing claims that have third party certification behind it to back it up. So, in this case, they have the dermatologically approved certification from the Skin Health Alliance, and that would link to their skin protection claim that it's clinically proven to provide skin protection against the four main causes of diaper rash. But it will not help validate, and that's because there's just simply no definition in the market, and hence it cannot be regulated. Is the word hypoallergenic. Hypoallergenic is one of those words that means everything and nothing because any brand can put it on their packaging since there's no clear guideline around it. So there's no, for example, no US FDA regulation that determines what's hyperallergenic and what isn't. The other term is gentle on your baby. So like the gentle or say gentle on the skin, gentle on the baby. Again, it's a gray area. There's no clarity on what that actually means. And the third one is dermatologically tested. So from what I've researched, dermatologically tested just means that there has been a dermatologist involved in the process of doing like a patch test, for example, to see what other reactions were on the skin. But it doesn't mean like it's been like necessarily a super formal process with like a board of dermatologists. It has been tested, yes, but it might not be like the image that we have in our minds when it says dermatologically tested. It also is labeled as no elemental chlorine, no parabens, and no latex. So the no elemental chlorine refers to the bleaching, which, by the way, all disposable diapers do. They have to go through, the wood pulp has to go through a bleaching process. So it's either totally chlorine free, TCF, or ECF, which is this kind. So elemental chlorine free. Believe it or not, there is actually a debate within parents as to which is safer. So, should you go for a TCF diaper or an ECF? I personally go for TCF just from a peace of mind point of view because then I know that there's no whatsoever traces or byproducts of chlorine in the diaper. But these days, with the modern methods that exist to do the bleaching of the wood pulp, honestly, like both methods are safe these days, both ECF and TCF to be fair. And the other one that's like no parabens, no latex, no fragrance, like this is really good, and this is the minimum that I would expect in any diaper that wants to be somewhat clean. But there is one that I did not see that's free off, and that is lotion. So there, I would like more clarification from them on what this vitamin enrich actually entails, because they say that the liner, so the part that touches the baby's private parts directly, has these B5 and E vitamins. And then when you go further down, it says the liner is enriched with nourishing shea butter, but it's unclear to me as to whether this is lotion or what. And for some parents, this might be a point of concern. If their baby's skin is particularly delicate, they might not want it touching any type of lotion. And in this case, you can also see the marketing claims are listed here, right? And we already know that there's some that are subjective or are not defined and hence not regulated. So there's very few that can be actually validated. And in this case, like cloud-like softness, what is it like? Have you ever touched a cloud? I don't think so. Hypoallergenic, not defined. Made in the USA? Yes. However, this aspect that I want to highlight here is an eco-friendliness or like green, which they do make a big deal out of in their marketing material. They highlight this constantly, and they even have these logos right here. So I looked it up to make sure that these were certifications, and they're actually not. They are logos that they've created themselves to highlight the importance of these topics, such as being a zero waste manufacturing facility or and having 100% renewable energy. This is, of course, a very important topic. Please don't get me wrong. My only point is that without a certification or this third party like stamp of approval, it's very hard to be able to validate and say that this is for a fact something that they do. Of course, I rather see this section in sustainability and everything that they're doing than not that them not doing anything. But again, remember, this is just an example of how some companies highlight certain aspects, but in my view, lack the ability to really validate it or substantiate it with third party certifications. In this case, the only certification that they have is the Leaping Bunny, which, don't get me wrong, is a pretty decent one. And of course, we love animals. We don't want them to get hurt. We don't want them to be tested on, and this guarantees that there has been no animal cruelty involved. However, this is not the top certification that would go for on a diaper. Next time a diaper brand tells you they're hypoallergenic, dermatologist tested, or safe and gentle in the skin, you instead ask them, do you either have a Skin Health Association certification, Dermatest, or Allergy UK seal of approval? If they tell you they're natural, clean, non toxic, free of harmful chemicals, then you say, are you disclosing all of your ingredients transparently on your website? And you make sure they're all there, layer by layer of the diaper. And in some cases, some of them might have a smart label, which is this website where you can check all of the ingredients that are listed within the diaper. In terms of certifications, you're going to look for OEKO-TEX Standard 100, EWG Verification, or EU Ecolabel or Nordic Swan Ecolabel. Any of these are really good options in terms of testing that the diaper does not come with any harmful chemicals. If they claim to be eco-friendly or green, then you look for FSC certification or PAFC or EU Ecolabel or Nordic Swan Ecolabel. If they tell you they're compostable, then you can look for TUV Austria, OK Compost, or Industrial Compost. Finally, if they tell you they're biodegradable, then they're full of BS because there's actually no way that a diaper can be fully biodegradable. I know this info can be a lot to remember when you're looking for clean diapers. So I've compiled it into a cheat sheet that's in the bottom of the video in the description box. So go and check it out. Also, if you like this video, learn something new, or want to support me, please remember to subscribe, like my video, and wait for my next one, which is actually going to save you quite a bit of time because I've already done the research for you and compiled 10 of the cleanest diaper options in 2025. Go and check it out. And before I forget, if no one's told you yet today, you're doing a great job. Mwah!